He might be able to snipe out that pylon, but that might be just about all. Zealots moving in right now. They do not decide to charge yet. WhiteRa does not want to get caught in a place he doesn't want to fight. It looks like Psystorm going down, and these forces are forced to back up, but right now WhiteRa doesn't have any more Psystorm. He has 3 High Templar, but I don't think enough Psystorm yet, so NGAmaka might be able to push against this position, but he does not want to. He doesn't feel comfortable pushing up on this hill, and WhiteRa would be having good position with probably enough time to get some Psystorm left. Yeah, so there is definitely Psystorm from these High Templar, so NGAmaka probably making a good call, pushing out and waiting until he gets some more medevacs, which is exactly what he's doing right now. And NGAmaka going very heavy ground, infantry with a little bit of mech support from some Hellions. Lots of Vikings right now. He's probably just going to need to use those as scouts and maybe some harass, maybe snipe out some expansions, which looks like what he was trying to do. But WhiteRa is out here right now. Vikings taking just one hit from those stalkers. I love how WhiteRa just decides to build pylons anywhere, which is kind of cool. He kind of uses them like scouts or like farms in Warcraft 3. He's just like, oh, I'll just build one here, why not? So that's kind of cool to see. WhiteRa is just like, I'll just build pylons wherever I please. And NGAmaka, yeah, pretty much using those Vikings the best way he can right now, just kind of using them to fly around and snipe out buildings and potentially expansions, but WhiteRa not letting that happen. These Vikings are still on ground form. They're all going to die. He decided not to move them up and fly them in the air. I don't know why. Those Viking pilots are dead, and NGAmaka now moving against this position. Definitely at a good place right now, but tons of Psystorm going on this Terran force. This Terran force is so weak, but I don't think that WhiteRa has any more Psionic Storm, so NGAmaka taking a perfect position right now on this expansion, definitely in a sweet spot, was able to snipe out tons of those Zealots. There is no Psystorm left for WhiteRa, so despite the fact that this army is just so weak, he is able to snipe out tons of Zealots, tons of units, doing a fantastic job of micro, and he is evacuating with these dropships. NGAmaka doing a great job there. That was almost a perfect attack, I might say. If WhiteRa had a Psystorm, however, that attack would have gone completely in a different direction, but fortunately for NGAmaka, he was able to evacuate just one Stalker, so I think this medevac might be okay. Oh, it's actually taking tons of damage. That Stalker might be able to reach it. I think it needs about 1 or 2 more hits, just 9 HP left on the medevac, barely able to scurry away back home. That Stalker not able to get him, or Stalker. It looks like NGAmaka now trying to secure an expansion of his own. He realizes that he really needs to get started on this macro game, so he is constructing a bunker, probably going to be moving in this command center right now. That's exactly what he's doing. Orbital command being constructed, flying it in. NGAmaka using his dropships again, trying to snipe out this expansion right here with his units, trying to even up the ante on the micro game while NGAmaka sets up his own expansion. These L's kind of running back and forth. NGAmaka trying to take down this expansion as well, but WhiteRa kind of anticipating that, so he's not really going to be able to do all that much, and he might even be able to get a snipe off on feedback, no, but not really all that much energy left on those medevacs. NGAmaka now finally taking this expansion, but WhiteRa is definitely up ahead on the macro game because he has had this expansion for quite a long time, and his main base is almost already mined out. Both players' main base is almost already mined out. He is starting to saturate his natural to increase his income. Still very Zealot and High Templar heavy for WhiteRa, which is pretty much what he has to do. He is going to need some other unit if he does want to stay in this game. I think between Zealots and High Templar, he will be hard-pressed to just win the game that way. It looks like we do see a robotics facility and Immortals coming out, so we are seeing that WhiteRa is going to be able to get some more units. A medevac drop right here, taking out a pylon, and he is definitely afraid right now, as he should be. If those High Templar are able to get feedback on these dropships, he will be able to snipe them out, and that's exactly what he's doing. We do see a feedback, only 1 dropship left, tons of Psystorm, and that Marine just hopped up and died to that Psystorm. I don't know if you saw that, it looked pretty cool. NGAmaka definitely in a tough position right now. He is trying to snipe out as much as he can in this main base, but WhiteRa is going to be able to take off these dropships. Feedback on both of those medevacs. That one medevac going down in the Stalker fire, another medevac going down, and these units are being chased by the Zealots, and the medevac does die. He just explodes right there. That was an amazing play by WhiteRa. He was definitely able to completely thwart that offensive attack by NGAmaka. I gotta hand it to NGAmaka though. That was definitely a good use of his units, but he was a little bit too aggressive. Wasn't expecting the feedback from the High Templar, and probably should have backed off sooner than he did. We do see that NGAmaka finally has those ghosts, so that is the response to the High Templar. One thing that's really cool to see in a PvT is High Templar versus Ghost, because they pretty much counter each other. Ghost with the EMP and High Templar with feedback and Psystorm. So it really just becomes who has the faster trigger finger against each other. WhiteRa has more High Templar and than NGAmaka has Ghosts, but those Ghosts are also going to be very effective against those Immortals. The Ghost is pretty much the single greatest unit counter to Protoss, to this composition right now. So we'll see how he's going to be able to do that. WhiteRa in a difficult position right now. Doesn't really have all that many units, and an EMP is going to be able to go down on this force right now. That Archon is very weak. I don't think that WhiteRa does have enough for Psystorm. He's getting more EMPs off. Another Archon being morphed in, but it is going to die. Finally, WhiteRa's army does come in, but he's able to shoot, snipe, and fire back with Stimpack. That Terran force is just so fast. He's able to train around as much as he wants. And with those Ghosts, it's going to be very difficult for WhiteRa to do a lot of damage. Those Immortals not really having that much shield. One Immortal going down. WhiteRa's in a tough position right now. I don't know if he is going to be able to secure this expansion, but I think since that Terran army is very weak, if he is going to be able to get a Psystorm off on that army, he's going to be able to do tons of damage, but the Terran army is a little bit afraid of that, so NGAmaka does decide to move back, at least for now. So WhiteRa definitely able to secure this expansion, just barely. Those Ghosts doing tons of damage, so I definitely would like to see NGAmaka still continuing to produce those Ghosts. We don't see that, however. We don't see any Ghosts for NGAmaka. He really should be producing them to counter those High Templar and those Immortals, but definitely NGAmaka does have the size advantage on the army, so between the armies, so it looks like he was thinking about moving against his position. I don't think he sees that expansion. No, he doesn't yet. Does not yet see that expansion. So WhiteRa securing another expansion, definitely trying to stay up on the macro game. So WhiteRa is not letting up despite the fact that he is low on units right now. He is taking the gamble to make sure that his macro game is going to be superior to his opponents. And WhiteRa using those High Templar to try to snipe those SCVs. Missed that a little bit. But he was able to get a lot of those SCVs weak. I'm sure WhiteRa would just love to just go in there and finish it off. But he does need to move those High Templar back to support this position. One medevac going in here. Rogue looks like he's doing a dual prong attack. Very great play by NGAmaka. But WhiteRa was able to snipe that out. NGAmaka losing a couple of units right now. WhiteRa in a pretty decent position. His forces are pretty well spread against NGAmaka's right now, and to try to counter against that EMP.